NOLA podcast where you don't need luck to get where you want to go. This is episode 5, and it's been a minute, but we back. And I have a really special guest with me today. I have my friends Gable, Price, and friends.
Yo!
Who's a special guest?
Which camera do we look at?
It's all of you.
It's Cam. Cam's a special guest.
Cam's a special guest.
If you don't know who Gable, Price, and friends are, that's weird, and you're living under a rock. But
You are.
Made up of Gable Price, Adam Elzaraz, Daniel Vargas,
That's so big.
and Cam Pablo.
You said his last name right.
That was good.
That was great.
Yeah,
That was
a
good.
It's a good.
I
twister.
personally like. Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine.
I don't understand why it's so hard to say your last name. Like,
I can't spell it,
Like,
but
there's
I
too
can
many
say
Z's.
it.
well,
has
yeah,
one too
but
many
there's
Z's
like
for
people
me.
who've known Adam for like years, and they're like, Ella Razmataz or something like that.
Ivan has Adam as Adam E. Bethel.
Ivan can't say serendipitous though.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, go on.
No, that's great. Before we get into this and have fun, which it's going to be a lot of fun, I've
So
had
much fun.
I've had a lot of people kind of ask me what this podcast is, what it's about, what it means, and I took a little bit of a break to kind of refocus on what that is for me.
Soul searching.
Soul searching, one would say. And I don't know, I'm not really addressing you guys, but I can. I don't know for y'all, but for me, I have a really bad habit of being on Instagram and kind of seeing someone who has made it in my area of work, and I'm like, oh, this just happened for them overnight. But in reality, there was actually so much work that it took for them to get there, and there's probably bands that you guys have worked with or bands that you look up to, and you know, when you were getting started, you're like, oh, they just like made it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But you don't see so yeah, like this podcast is a place for me to talk to people about the come up. That's literally all it is. And I always find that I naturally gravitate towards people who have put in hours versus like just having a handout. So I find that like I want to hear the stories about people who have put in 10,000 hours on their craft.
Yeah.
Not people who just like ran into, there's like so many pop artists and like bedroom pop people who they make one song, it gets picked up by the right person, and
Industry plant.
they're done forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything. And like, while all that's awesome, and I don't want to like,
Bro, what do you think Dad's song was?
Dude, it
Who's Dad's song? Dude, Galley.
That whole first
That
EP, honestly,
Yeah, dude.
like let's.
Olivia Rodrigo, who?
But yeah, so this podcast, to sum this up, this podcast is a place for me to have a platform to express and to talk to people about the come up on their journey. And I like to interview my friends who are doing things, and I like to hear about them working hard. And honestly, like the catchphrase for this podcast could be work hard and you don't need luck. That's what this is. And that's all I want this to be.
Let's
So
go.
we're done with that.
That's good.
Let's jump into it.
It was beautiful,
Thanks for
too.
tuning in.
Thanks.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Yeah,
Just
see you next
kidding.
week.
Brought to you by SeatGeek.
I know I know
Carl's Jr.
I know that the first conversation everyone wants to say is, how'd you guys meet? But the thing is I was there.
You were?
when you guys
Yeah,
met,
baby.
so I know how you met. So it's like we can kind of skip past that. Obviously, all of you guys are from different places, and
Yeah.
sorry, this is gonna be weird. Me addressing you like
No,
this.
I like it.
Okay,
I
it's
like
good.
it.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
This is out of your
I like
face.
it.
It's good.
I think like what I want to know from the get go is like
Bars.
what.
What I want to know from
What
the
do you
get-go.
guys? Can you give me like each of you? We're gonna go around. Who is a band that you have not worked with yet that you really want to work with, and why?
Yeah.
Dang. That's a heavy question.
We were all at dinner before this, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna tell them any of my questions
Dang,
because
bro.
it's like I want you guys to actually. I don't want you to prep anything. Like,
yeah.
Well, you should have known that regardless of how much time you gave us, we wouldn't have prepped anything.
That's great. Yeah. Whoever wants to start, it doesn't matter.
I'm not going to start. You can start, Dan.
Yeah.
You can go. I'm recovering
Recovery.
from the volcano sauce
Oh,
downstairs.
dude, I know.
It's crazy.
We all had to use the restroom before this. Yeah, honestly, for me, This is a
Yeah.
dream, but like the Killers is a band that I've admired for so long.
The Killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their sound and what they sing about it resonates so much with me that would be like a dream. Like,
Is it Ronnie Vanucci?
Ronnie Vanucci. Oh
Dude,
my god,
he rips
he's so good, dude.
hard,
Like
bro.
the tilted snare, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so it's so much of what I do comes from him. You know, like I've obviously, hopefully at this point made it my own. You know, but learning from them and kind of collaborating with them would be a dream come true.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Killers for me.
Is that like the Killers? Is that your answer? If like with no limits?
Yeah.
So you guys aren't like, you don't have any relation with anyone who's related to the
With
Killers?
the Killers, no.
No. Yeah.
No.
But if anyone's watching that's related to the Killers, hit me up.
Hit me up also. The Killers, that's sick.
The Killers,
I love
period.
that. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were gonna say Radiohead.
Radiohead, nah, dude. They're a little too wild. I love listening. I wouldn't love collaborating.
You're saying that now.
Mr. Radio,
Yeah.
if you're listening, or Head, if you're listening.
I love Radiohead.
You gotta bleep that out.
No, leave that.
I'm leaving this in the audio part.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
Should we go in order? Or do
Yeah,
you
let's
wanna
just go around.
I think you should go at him.
go? Okay. I was gonna say the Killers, but my second choice would be. I think. I don't know. I don't want to sound like, too easy, but I feel like No Limits U2 would be really cool.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, dude. The Edge.
The Edge, and I feel like they're just kind of the blueprint for a lot of modern music.
Yeah.
That's facts. No printer.
Yeah.
And
Take the printer out.
dude, no carnival, no games.
I love that.
Yeah, U2. I feel like U2. And also, I feel like if you do anything with U2, like you won't have to do anything else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
And we just want to stop.
I can't think of anyone who's done features with U2 besides.
Yeah. Besides Apple,
Apple Music, bro.
which I really like that album.
So this is kind of funny. It's a tangent, but when Google Video was like the thing back in the day,
Google Video.
and I remember my older brother saying, "It's not Google Video anymore. It's YouTube." But I thought he said YouTube, and so I thought literally the band U2 started like a video platform, and it took over. But for some reason in my head, I was thinking that U2 had like a girl lead singer. Like I didn't know, like I wasn't thinking of anyone in specific.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really funny. I was like, why would this chick buy? Why would this
Chick Bono.
it was like
It's Bono.
it's Bonet.
Dude,
Bonnet.
Dude, I still lived in Guatemala also when YouTube started. Another tangent. And I
It's called
would,
Tutu.
No, dude, I was literally I looked up yutu.com YouTube. And I was like, bro, why isn't it coming up? Anyways, that's my part.
Yeah, that was my answer. U2.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think like we've had a lot of. My dream always was Switchfoot, and
Yeah.
we did that a lot with this record actually. And I think like since we started the band, it's been really hard to look outside of what feels realistic. So I would say like anyone, like we could work with anyone. I'd love to work with Lainey at some point.
Yeah.
Like that'd be really cool. Marcus Mumford.
Yeah.
Like outside of Mumford and Sons, like his solo record, self-titled, is like one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. So recently, I've been like, even Dom asking like, who should we try to get in a room with? I was like, Mumford, 100%.
Yeah.
So I'd say those are like the arena-sized like people I'd want to work with. Springsteen would be sick.
Yeah. I feel like the Laney guys are like what, even though they're like stadium vibes. I feel like you could.
I feel like it's two arms. They're like two arms reach. You know?
You could get into a room with those guys.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I feel like. I hope so. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Gang of Youths would be really fun too.
Yeah.
Really fun. I think him and Mumford, our stuff, like our listener base likes. It seems like likes everything kind of spelled out for you,
Yeah.
and it could be really fun to work with them.
Well,
who
you guys
spell out
are
nothing.
on. I don't know if you knew this or not, but you're on Gang of Youth suggested radio.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like, here's some
Did not know
youths.
that.
Yeah. Here's some youths that are.
Here's some more youths. Yeah.
Cam, what about you?
Me.
Speaking of gangs, Cam.
The Bloods. This might
We're in
sound
no way affiliated.
no way affiliated. Love you guys. Shout out.
Wait, no.
We're
Cut that out.
by the time this airs, I'm gonna be dead, bro.
Yeah. This might. I mean, you'd like this, Chase, but it might sound cliche. We've been singing their songs even before this, but 75.
Yeah.
But specifically, more so, their drummer, George.
George Daniel. is-
George.
man.
Yeah, well, it's funny because
Same name.
same name. Yeah. I want to work with Daniel Vargas.
Jorge Davis.
For those who don't know, Jorge Daniela.
Daniel.
He actually he produces pretty much all their records.
Yeah.
No way.
The last one was with Jack Antonoff.
It's like, why don't we do that?
But
Well,
it's funny. There's
I don't know if you knew that. Sorry, I'll let you give 1 second. I don't know if you know this or not,
Yeah.
or if you know this, or anyone knows this, but I don't know if who knows this. I know that you know this, but George Daniel actually, it's mainly George and Maddie has produced all of the Japanese house's stuff,
No way.
and also
Yeah.
No Rome, who is another guy, produced all their stuff. Produced Holly Humberstone.
Oh, dude, I love.
Yeah.
Holly
They produced
Humberstone.
her stuff,
No
and I'm
way.
like, it's very. It doesn't sound anything like the 1975.
Not at all, yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
not big 80s drums, big synths, all this different stuff. It's like it sounds so. It kind of reminds me of Radiohead a little bit, like some of it.
Big statement. Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. Go back.
no,
to
you're
it.
good. I think it's funny because there's something about like drummers producing. Even Phoebe's, her drummer Marshall, he produces a lot of her stuff.
Marshall Langman.
Marshall Lynch.
Marshall Langman from the
But
Focus on
like,
the Family Department.
no, I mean, the new record of 75 is pretty fire. I mean,
Yeah.
you can just hear, and he does a lot of the programming, a lot of the drums, and even he does a lot of keys, and he even played cello on the last record. And I was just like,
What?
well, this last record, they were like,
Sick.
let's have each band member play an instrument they don't play, and let's record it because they don't want to have the perfection of their instrument on the record. So they would have, so you can hear all the imperfections in the record. I'm just like, this is really cool.
Yeah, it's just like how in this record I played all the electrics and
Yeah.
bass. And,
Yeah.
I played drums.
keys and all that.
I was really into. Sorry, we're gonna get into your guys' record in a second.
No,
But
yeah.
I was really into on this new 1975 record how the drums were big parts, but also sounded small. I don't know how to explain it. It felt like he wasn't playing, like, on the other records, it's like there's these huge snare samples, huge
Yeah.
80s sounding drum
Yeah.
kit, but then it's like small and like Americana sounding.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not about the size of the boat. It's about the motion of the ocean.
Great. So, yeah. Cool. So you guys talked about who you want to collab with. How was it? And I would love for everyone to weigh on this. And for people who don't know who are listening to this, the boys just released the album called "The Consequences of Being Alive."
Consequence.
Just one consequence.
It's been
There's a singular consequence.
Yeah, one.
it's been a month.
A month and 1 day. 2 days?
Yeah, it'll be longer once it drops, but
Yeah.
How?
That's true.
That's facts.
Yeah, continuity.
Okay, I want to talk about, and maybe I'm wrong because I haven't listened to it from top to bottom. It's been
Whoa.
very scattered.
bad friend.
This record sounds different. I'm gonna kill all of you. This record sounds different than everything else that you guys have put out.
Yep.
It obviously sounds different than the EP because that's the EP, but 50 milligrams sounds different than Brother Jack.
Yeah.
Why? Like what is it? Maybe why is not the right question, but what was it? The guys you were writing with? Was it Aaron Broman? Was it what you guys were listening to that inspired it? Because it's almost like a little more poppy than Kings of Leon, like Switchfoot heavy. Is that intentional, or was it just kind of like we're gonna play around and see?
That's a great question. I can talk about studio perspective, but yeah, I mean, for me, at least studio wise, like I remember going in and we had worked out a lot of stuff before we went into the studio. And it wasn't a conscious like this is gonna be pop and this is gonna be this and this is gonna be that. It was like literally like, oh, I just feel this moving this direction.
Yeah.
You know, and I would sit down on the drums and I recorded drums so differently this time than I had every other time. Aaron like really loves clean takes, like everything isolated. So I'd literally like I would always record toms separately. So even in fills, I would do toms.
Did you do Tom separately this record?
Oh, we
No,
did.
I didn't. I literally,
Okay,
we
had
did
a
it together this
conversation with
record.
Aaron, where I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm doing that.
I was gonna say, I was like, I didn't
That's
think
a
that you did
lot.
this.
Yeah,
one.
some
It's
fills
a
are
lot.
crazy.
And then I mean, you know, like when you have like ghost notes, when you like there's these little nuances that you lose.
Yeah.
When you're having everything separated. So at least drums wise, the whole time I was like, I want this to sound natural.
Yeah.
I told Aaron, I was like, we're not going to use any samples on this. We're going to use all the sounds from the drums.
There's no samples on the record?
No, there's no
Oh,
samples.
wow.
Yeah, drum wise, everything. We spent a lot of time tuning. We spent a lot of time listening to the songs.
Yeah.
We used the same snare. I only used one cymbal, like, and hi hats obviously. But I like kind of like strip myself back, and I was like, I'm gonna make these sound the way that I would
Yeah.
make any, like something that I like sound.
That's very sick. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, so this was the first time I guess I got to put in my sound wise what I wanted to put out.
Yeah.
Did you
So
feel like it ended up like that?
I feel like it ended up like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I love everything that we've all the music that we've put out. But this is the first time I've actually gotten to experiment.
Dan was he wanted even his environment to be pretty vibey, so we always like shut down the curtains.
Oh yeah.
We like can't put the lights on blue or like
Only
whoever
red-
Aaron like
only
put the
red
lights
M&Ms.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only the green M&M.
yeah.
It does affect how you play, dude.
No, I had
lighting.
someone have a water at the same temperature ready for me. I had this. She only had to give me green M&Ms. It was crazy. She put in a lot of work. shout out Gracie.
They all had to say W.
Yeah.
You say shout out Gracie?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. That's a fake person.
That's Jeremy's wife.
I was about to say. I was like, wait.
Jeremy's in the back. He's in the back, like
The reason
text.
the sound- the
He's like
drum sounded
texting
that
her.
way.
He's like, "What are you? Why were you in Nashville?" With that?
He's just like so. It's like,
That's a great tidbit. I would love for you guys to weigh in if you had anything.
I was thinking, if it's okay, I mean, sonically, I feel like it was interesting because this was the first album, or one of the first things that we've done that Daniel got to do whatever he wanted. And it was one of the first things that we've done where at least Cam and I, guitar and bass wise, didn't get to do everything we wanted. And sorry.
You're good.
But
You should say sorry again. One more time.
Lo siento.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure the third time.
That one's for Brazil.
Pantalones.
Which I think is a really cool thing because we had Scotty Mills, who plays guitar in a band called Colony House, and we look up to him a lot. And yeah, it was just really cool to it was cool to have someone say no to our ideas.
Yeah.
And like kind of just, push us and stretch us to do something different than what we would normally do. And in the moment, it's kind of like frustrating sometimes because you're like, oh, but this would be really cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, then like someone tells you no, and it's like, you kind of have to like put your ego away and just be like, oh, this is actually kind of cooler.
Yeah.
Like, so
Did you find that working with Scotty, because I know you and I know your style of playing is very like heavy overdrive distortion. Like I know you're like Kings of Leon influences, things like that. Like, did you find that Scotty dialed that back?
yeah, I think we maybe used like one or two overdrives the whole.
Was that tough for you?
We
or-
use a lot of less reverb too. I mean, you can tell on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was cool. It was fun. I was like, I feel like the amp. Sorry, gear talk.
We can get to that later. We have
we got a whole
We
thing
got a
about
few
gear
words.
talk.
we have a rant.
But not to get like too technical or like bore people, but like we just kind of just let the amp that we were recording do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So like it's just a lot of dynamics, a lot of touch sensitivity.
Yeah. I mean, he really focused on the part over effects. We did throw in like a lot of fun effects on there, but
Yeah.
there is like most of the time it's just like, let's make this part great and not let it be drowned out by a bunch of magic
Yeah.
or pedals.
Yeah.
So
How many days do you think guitars took?
too many. Just kidding. No, it was the right amount of time, I think. Yeah.
It was most of the week.
It's just like guitars.
I was watching Love
Guitars
Island.
naturally.
At the Airbnb.
We were
Guitars naturally take the longest.
Yeah.
Just because
They always do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so much more stuff to do.
Yeah.
There's more things to put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a big thing. Is like we were stretched a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm very
Yeah.
thankful for it.
I remember sitting in Dom's living room talking about the record and talking about
Dom is our manager.
Dom's our manager, yeah.
Shout out, Dom.
Shout out Dom.
Dominic Chabon.
One love. I remember saying like this record we're gonna be known for the punches that we hold, not throw.
Yeah.
Because we've made jokes about, if I'm being honest, being our Hot Girl Summer record. But in reality, that's kind of what it was. It was just kind of like, let's put as many things in here as possible.
Yeah, totally.
And at a certain point, there was so much cool stuff that actually was holding it back in a way. Like, it's like when you got mustard freaking rules. When you're putting on ribs to, get the seasoning. I grill now.
Also,
And binders.
shout out First Rack of Ribs.
First rack of ribs, dude. I'm waiting for our first rack of cash, bro. We got 0 bags. But it's like, a little bit is good. A lot of it is like,
Yeah.
the whole thing tastes like mustard.
Yeah.
And so it was, I feel like it was a beautiful process in every way, where I think everyone at one point got told, nah, and
Oh, yeah.
I felt like that was really cool. Scott said at the beginning, he's like, hey, I just want you to know, I don't got a lick of pride. Like, I don't need my idea to be the one that lands. What I do need is for every one of these songs to rule.
Yeah.
And so he's like, if it's Cam that comes up with it, if it's Adam that comes up with it, if it's the guy that's swinging by to drop off an amp that comes up with it, he's like, I don't give a crap. I don't have a lick of pride. He's like, and if you guys want your record to work, you can't have a lick of pride either. And I feel like that really took us to the next level.
That's
Yeah.
super sick. to
Yeah.
hear that.
I mean, I even learned my lesson one of the days. I mean, it was for one of the songs. I mean, Adam and I, before the album, we had like ideas like and for the we were stuck on them, and then being I don't know. I guess you could say like having that idea flipped to not your expectation.
Yeah.
It is a bummer at first, and I think like even for me, I didn't know how to handle it, and I was just like raging, and I was just like, this sucks. Like I had this
All because someone
idea,
told you no.
all because like we wanted something different.
Yeah.
And like immediately, like the next day, I was just like, took it too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
There was a
learned my
gun
lesson.
involved.
No, but I gotta say, Scotty was awesome, bro.
He's probably
Yeah.
like the most disarming person. I love Scott so much. First off, he's so cool looking, a very cool looking person,
Yeah.
and also just like extremely talented, but can say like harsh things in a way that you're like, oh yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree. Just like in that way of like, he said, you guys are cocky and it's holding you back in the nicest way, like in the most inspiring way, and it was cool.
Yeah.
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 It's
I
just,
also think
Go
that
ahead.
like Scotty's idea and his ear for music is unreal.
It
like
is.
I
It is.
I didn't record an album with him, but like I was with BM in Franklin recording Christine's record that he like played guitar on, but also like co-produced with David Leonard, and Lorelai's song,
Yeah,
which is actually my favorite song on the record.
it's like the one I didn't write.
not you're in my country.
I was like, yeah, we're gonna go for like a Tears for Fears vibe, and when I hear it, I'm like, oh, I can hear that now, and it's just like, anyway, it was just a funny tidbit.
That's cool.
I've never done anything else with him.
I mean, but Aaron in the same way does the same thing.
Yeah,
But like Aaron, like it was a beautiful contrast because we had so many different options for who was going to produce the record. And it was a long process, like a few times with different people that we thought we had figured it out. But it was like this really cool thing of Aaron has been our boy since the beginning.
yeah,
And he's like pop smashes, like in like the best way, like makes amazing music. Scotty is ballsy as heck, like Colony House stuff is so cool. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite bands of all time. And it was like this really cool blend of like, we get Scotty for the balls and Aaron for the hit.
Yeah.
Of just like the knowing what makes up something.
Yeah.
And it was just such a cool was a cool environment. I had a great time, and it's a lot of retrospect of looking back on the record because it was a really crazy time.
Yeah.
Like I worked on the record writing it for like a year and a half beforehand, and was kind of sick of it up until we got into the studio, in the sense of just like, I mean, we only ever, this is what was different for me, and I don't want to take up all the time for everyone, is
No, you haven't gone yet, so you should go.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So previously, we had written only as many songs as we needed, sometimes less. Like Fraction Heart, I finished 10% on the way to the studio.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
we were driving.
We were driving, yeah. And then
Was that in Sac or?
on the way to Sac, yeah.
Yeah.
We were probably in Anderson when I started it. By the airport.
Sorry, let's stay on track because I have so many sidebars I want to go on.
Yeah. And then I finished, me and Adam actually finished with Mcmillan Someday the day before we started recording, if I'm being honest. This time, I think I had 30 songs for this record, for 11. That was my goal. So I was like, I want to have so many more songs, at least written, than we need. Because then we can actually choose what the 10 best were. It was supposed to be a 10-song album. It's 11 because we couldn't decide between Treason and Easy to Love You.
Yeah.
Which is great because they're both doing great. But so for me, like, it was just felt like we actually had a lot of control over everything. Like didn't feel like there was anything we did because it was the easy thing to do. Even Tough Love, like we had already almost decided the whole album list. And then I was like, hey, I've got this like 30-second idea. Can we just save a spot for it? And everyone, those are like the moments where I'm like, hey guys, can you trust me? And I feel like every single time I've asked like, hey, can you trust me on this? Everyone's gotten behind it, which I feel really special about. But I couldn't imagine the record without Tough Love on it.
No, not at all.
It's a banger.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine. Yeah, it collapsed.
Is that one that you wrote?
No,
That was me and Caleb Chapman.
Okay.
But Tough Love and I Don't Want to Live Like This, neither of those were on the original list.
That is,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I Don't Want to Live Like This is far and wide streaming the best right
Yeah,
now.
it's on top
yeah.
right now. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
One
yeah,
of my favorites.
yeah. I mean, I can say that about each of them at different times.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, yeah. I don't think there's been a song on the album that we haven't seen a comment like this is my favorite one.
yeah.
But yeah, I think what was different for me is, I mean, everything they said is exactly true. It was one of the goals we set in was, one, let every punch that we throw hit, and no punches be thrown, just a punch, you know?
Yeah.
The other was I really wanted Dan to feel at home in this record, that he could be Dan, because I've heard Dan play when he plays, and I feel like so many times, because in a way, our resources or even our time management was poor in the sense of we didn't get in as a band to be able to run the songs, or sometimes I have too much of a formulated idea already on drums that it's hard to get away from it, or like we get attached to it. And so on this one, I was like, I want Dan to be Dan. And I feel like you really were.
Totally.
You were
Yeah.
Dan AF, bro.
Yeah, dude. Big Dan, bro.
Well,
and
Jorge
also,
Daniel, dude.
like even, do you remember when we did Not Safe? I think you were there. It was an acoustic, bro. It was literally just an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like,
What do you want me to do this? Yeah.
What the hell?
That was how it was with Meg Love too.
What?
Magnetic Love too was just an
Yeah,
acoustic and a. But I was like, but I know I want it to go like. But it was back then. I was like, can we get the biggest snare we can possibly get on this?
I wanted to. Okay, I've debated telling the story, but I want to tell it real quick.
Yeah, tell it, man.
One of my favorite stories is when it was 2017.
I know exactly what this story is.
We had just met, and
When you pooped
Daniel.
your pants?
No.
Then that was tonight.
You guys were about to record Reading EP, and and Dan, I'm like over at Dan's house or something, or we're somewhere, and he's like, yo, bro, like, I don't want to go to SAC this weekend, bro. Like, we're gonna record, bro. Like, I don't want to do.
He's like,
this.
Gable's not even on worship teams, bro. Gable's got no clout, bro.
He's like, bro, I don't want to do this. He's like, I think I'm gonna call in sick or act like I'm sick, and I'm like,
You did that once?
I did that twice.
You little.
I'm like, yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm over here like,
If
maybe
any of Daniel's workplaces are listening, he's never sick.
No.
So anyway, Dan's like, I don't want to do this, bro. I'm tired. Maybe Jonas. Maybe there was this guy named Jonas.
Oh no, that was Magnetic Love.
That was Magnetic.
That was Magnetic
also
Love.
the Reading EP. though.
Reading EP, we had no choice because we were all on missions break and we were the only ones who weren't on.
No, so it was Magnetic Love, I
But
think.
it was one of those, and it was just like this other guy from like Norway. He's like, maybe I can ask him to go, and I was like, maybe in the back of my head, I'm like, if Daniel doesn't go, maybe I can slide in. And then Gable and I are like meeting for coffee at Brew, which is like this like hole in the wall. Wow.
I was about to say that was crazy.
some bright
That was
one stuff,
insane.
bro.
Gable worked at how long? A year?
I worked at Brew for a year. It's closed. It's closed now.
No.
Did you know that?
Oh,
No, I worked at. Yeah, dude. I was the brew boy, dude.
dude,
Jeremy's going. I can't hear what he's saying. He's going off.
He's crying.
Dude, I got them to switch from the Ashland place to Feast.
But
What was the Ashland place? Noble? Noble, yeah.
But Gable and I are like meeting up for coffee, and which when you're an adult you go get beers, but we were getting coffee, and I remember
You're a sinner.
I remember sitting down with Gable and I was like, we were talking, and I was like, dude, you excited for the EP recording? He's like, yeah, bro, like super stoked, and I was like, I don't think Daniel wants to go.
Right off the bat.
If we could give you a synopsis of Chase in 2019, it's, hey, this other person thinks something, and I'm the one to tell you.
I was like, yeah, I don't think Daniel wants to go. And Gable looks at me and he's like, why are you telling me this?
Me back then. No, okay, so here's the story from my perspective. And this was funny. Is me and Adam are together. We're at we're hanging out.
Dating.
We're hanging out. We're not
Holding
together.
hands.
We're at his apartment at Shasta Creek. That's what it's called, right? The one
No.
by Walmart.
Oh, that
Oh
was
shoot!
That's when.
I almost said Pine Grove. I don't know why.
Dana Point.
That's a great band.
Dana
That's a
Drive.
great band.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Dana,
yeah.
Behind Walmart.
And so we're there, and Daniel calls me, and he's like, "Hey, bro."
I was putting on the fakest.
Dude, as soon as I heard it, I was like, "You piece of crap." But he goes, "I'm feeling so sick, bro." He's like,
I wasn't even home. Either.
"Yeah, well, you know, you're at Chipotle. We were because we were supposed to go to Sacramento that night and stay there overnight. And you're like, I'm so sick. I just need to get some sleep, and you know, so I talked to Jonas. He said he would do it. And I was like, "Oh, dude, it's okay. I don't really want Jonas to do it. We'll leave at 6 a.m. tomorrow. See you tomorrow."
Dude, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, crap.
I got you, bro.
I literally was like, I have no out.
Dude, you know what? You'd be at Best Buy right now, dude. I'm kidding.
I was like selling olives, bro. It's like you don't want the $300 TV. You want the $1,500 one.
Bro, we'd be done. Jonas had to go back to Norway, man. We were like,
No, but I mean, how many times? I feel like that wasn't the only time I tried to get out.
yeah,
of
you did, bro. You little stinker. You're great now. You're
Yeah,
great now.
yeah.
I just
now.
love that story because I'm like, actually, like, what if you were just like, what if you like didn't go?
Well, the thing
Like,
is, I knew he was at Chipotle because I saw it on like Noah's story or something like that, and I was just like, no. I think I called you, even though like when you called me and you told me you're sick, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Are you at Chipotle right now?
I was like, bro, it doesn't matter.
You're like,
I'm sick.
He's like, bro, I just placed a pickup order.
you're like, yeah, bro. I
Here
think it
am.
might be food poisoning.
I think it's food poisoning.
I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Puke it out. See you at 6 a.m.
So Daniel was almost not in the band.
yeah, it's crazy.
A few times.
I wanted to know about tour.
Well,
So-
did Cam talk about the difference for the album?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
sort of.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
have your
yeah,
own
yeah.
They
thing
talked
now?
about emotional. Like,
I don't know.
is it-
I mean, I played bass on this record.
He did, yeah.
Which was
Yeah,
it's a
crazy.
big, it's a big thing.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, I mean, bass, guitar. I mean, at least for bass, I think, obviously, played guitar, some piano stuff, which has always been my life growing up. But bass is the instrument. I was just like, don't give me one. But
What?
oh, say it, Gable.
Bro, I can't. It's so bad. I'm like, could you be more predictable being the Filipino dude with the piano lessons?
Oh, no, that's great. Those of you who don't know, any Filipino parent will make you, or if you're Filipino and you have a kid,
I didn't want to say it. You guys
You're gonna
made me
make your
say
kid
it.
play
If I get
piano.
canceled, Adam made me get canceled.
no,
I'm not taking this out.
I think no, that's
The most
he's
racist podcast on the internet.
Next to being the absolute worst thing to come out of Reddit.
Bro, like 90, like 90. That was funny. Like 99% of our fans are from Dallas. We're fine.
yeah, we're good.
I wanted to know.
I don't know if Cam was done.
Yeah, it's cool.
No,
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, I don't want no.
I mean, at least with this record, we definitely bass has been a bit different with this record. Yeah, playing bass on this record was like different because we, I I guess, had me play bass, and then we didn't use like certain gear that we had, or we used different types of basses. We use a lot of flat ones. For those of you who don't know, it's like strings that don't sound like metal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It wasn't so like, what's that pedal that everyone uses? A hammer tone?
Tone hammer.
Yeah.
We use that for. It's funny because I think Aaron like reamped it, meaning like he just threw it in post.
Yeah.
He used his personal one, but
Flat ones have a lot more of like a thud.
Yeah,
like
it
very
wasn't so
thuddy.
like,
Like a boom,
pick, like
like-
distorted, like sounded like another guitar.
like Beatles used
Yeah.
flat ones.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot more of like a, you know,
Yeah.
Like Brother Jack has flat ones on it, and I think Easy to Love You. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Brother Check has 2 bass lines, right?
Yeah, there's 2 bass lines that we track separately in like the verses and instrumentals. But yeah, just doing like double duty. I was kind of, for me, stepping into the studio, I was actually kind of overwhelmed. Just like, got to get a lot of work done. But I think that's kind of everyone's idea of just like getting into the studio. Like, we have to do a lot of work
Yeah.
and just pull yourself away. Dan.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Love Island.
I'm looking at Dan like,
Yeah, no, dude.
Dan and I had a lot of days off.
They were
Yeah.
working on guitars. I was like, all right, bet, dude.
Yeah,
I was
I'm going home.
Zaxby's in the Airbnb watching Love Island.
What studio were you guys at?
Layman Drug
yeah,
Company.
Layman Drug
Okay,
Co.
so how different was that? This is the last thing I want to say, then I'll move on. How different was it? Because I was there, I was with you guys when you recorded your first 2 records. How different was it recording in Dom's house and in the
basement.
Hair salon.
The
The basement of the hair salon.
Oh, that was funny.
that Adam and I slept in.
Oh, dude,
That
and
was
didn't-
you played yourself on that one.
Wait, didn't someone come in freaking out?
Yeah, that, like the hell
The landlord.
Oh, yeah.
came in or
Yeah.
something like that.
How,
Like,
how
what are you
different
guys
was
doing?
it? How different was it being in like a designated space where you kind of like
It
could do whatever you want essentially?
was a huge vibe.
Did
It
it,
was huge.
was it a game? Like, did it feel? I guess did it motivate you to? I mean,
It felt
you're in someone's
more
house.
immersive. It felt more immersive to do it in a studio.
Yeah.
Especially away from Reading.
Yeah.
Because Sacramento's even close enough that if you need to go back for the day, you can.
Right. Cool.
It wasn't dark. It was very bright
Yeah.
all the
It
time.
looked like there was a lot of windows.
It
Yeah.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
beautiful.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Because the salon was tough. It was dark. It was grungy.
Yeah, it felt like a
in there.
dungeon for sure, yeah.
No, it literally was a dungeon.
That was so. That was
Yeah.
so much
That's
fun.
where
though.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Fraction Heart was recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
then
if I'm being
it's
honest,
like-
was Dom's house. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Dom
was,
and Will's.
That was a lot of fun. I want to know. I want to know about tour. So you guys have done 2 tours so far.
We done John Mark, King's Kaleidoscope, and then we did our like headlining release
Was
run.
King's your first tour, like your first official tour you went on?
Like with like a graphic for it. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we like we did our run where we did like a few
Oh, yeah,
places.
like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
not
met my girlfriend.
Like I'm not talking about any like one-offs. I'm talking about like this is like a tour.
Yeah.
Like, it was King's and then John Mark.
then John Mark, and then ours. I would have called it a tour, a mini
Yeah,
tour.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a graphic for it. You know?
Yeah. Was it just you guys or was there anyone else?
Judges. They're called the band Judges.
Okay.
It's my buddy Austin Livingood's band.
Okay. So you guys have done 3 tours so far.
Yeah.
Okay, I grew up playing music. Obviously, I played music with all of you actually. When we met, how was it with John Mark?
That was cool. Do you want to answer that?
You guys can totally chime in too. A few of the nights because I was on his load-in crew.
Yeah.
Like I was like doing double duty. I rode with them on the bus of like 3 of the nights, and it wasn't a bus; it was a box truck converted into a bus,
Sick.
and so it didn't have shocks.
Okay.
And so
tight.
like so you couldn't sleep. So basically like it was really special for me because John Mark's one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Like I mean from his first record until like now I would say I mostly resonated with the Medicine record, and then even like Death in Reverse more
Yeah.
so recently is like a really beautiful song, Rode the Rocks and the Weeds. And so it was really special just to like I met him in Charlotte when we were on the King's Kaleidoscope tour. I spent my off day at his house. Just to like get to know each other before the tour, so it wasn't just like picking
Yeah.
up from zero. So kind, like, and his whole crew like was unreal. Like that was like even Mikey was saying. Mikey did front of house for us. He does tours all the time, and he was saying he's like that was unreal for an opening tour in the sense of how hospitable they were. Just in the sense of like the whole tour, like we had all of our gear in their trailer. They were just like, oh yeah, we got room. Just throw your stuff in there.
That's cool.
Whereas like with a lot of other tours, like people will, like for a lot of other people, it's kind of like the openers on their own, which is understandable. Like even in ours with like judges at times, there were things that was like, oh, that's kind of on you guys. John Mark's crew was never like, that's on you guys. Yeah. Like if they had showers in their green room, it was kind of an open thing. Like all of us and John Mark's crew just in the shower. Ram Ranch. I'm sure.
We all took showers together.
Yeah. What did you remember though? I left. So we where did we start? We started in.
Yeah, you left it in San Diego.
Yeah. So it was. We did Dallas. We did Tucson. Which that's my reaction to that. And then we did San Diego.
Tucson people.
And then I'm stupid. So when
No,
we
you're
were
not, bro.
so when we were loading out, I left my stick bag at the venue.
Oh shit!
With all my sticks in my in-ears. So I'm at soundcheck the next day. I'm vibing the whole day, and then I'm setting up, and I'm like, wait, where are my sticks? Can't find them. Where are my ears? Can't find them. Freaking out. Leo is John Mark's sound guy, and he comes up and talks to me. He's like, hey, I heard you don't have your sticks and you don't have your ears. He's like, I have an extra pair of ears so you can use the rest of the run. He's like, they're 215s, but if you want, like, feel free to use them.
That's sick.
And
So kind,
Al, he's the best. The John Mark's drummer.
Yeah.
Legend. And he's like, dude, you can have as many. You can have some sticks. So he literally gave me sticks. I used Leo's in-ears the whole time. Like they weren't like protective. They weren't like, oh, dude, you're sure. Like they weren't like, oh, just go buy sticks. They were like, hey, let me help you out.
Yeah, like you're on a team.
You're on a team.
Yeah.
And that was so awesome.
I mean, even Steven, John Mark's brother-in-law, who plays keys and is it mandolin?
Mandolin,
Yeah.
banjo, everything.
Yeah, he was like,
Just everything.
He was like, I usually get in trouble for being mean to the opener. And I was like, well, you've been nice to us. And he was like, yeah, I'm kind of having an identity crisis about it. It was like really sweet because like they were just so great to us. I loved that tour so much.
so
like
much fun.
such nice guys.
Super fun.
Yeah.
That was
That's
the
so
easiest
sick. What did
thing we've
they?
done so far.
Just because I'm curious, like, how was their set? Like,
It was
did they
amazing,
rip?
bro.
Yeah,
my God,
they're so
bro.
tight.
They rip, and also like John Mark did an acoustic set in the middle.
Yeah.
And he's just such a calming presence of a person, like, and so like the acoustic set, felt like you were sitting in his living room.
Yeah.
First off, like it was really amazing, and one of my favorite parts of every night. But contrasted by the second favorite part was always when they did Wilder Love, like.
That song
So like
rips.
two ends of the musical dynamic spectrum, like it, but at the same time, like that's how good they are. Is like they're just really good at every moment.
Yeah.
I still remember like the first day in Dallas. We were sitting like by the lobby area, and they were doing their sound check, and first thing that hits is the all of our faces light up, and just like no way we're hearing this live right now. And just hearing that, I mean 18-year-old us, 16, however old, was just like, that's an iconic line for 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, luckily we got to hang out with them in Charlotte prior to the tour. Yeah, that's Heart Runs.
Yeah.
I forgot, when did we meet them in Charlotte?
You met.
We met Zach. Who else? I think that was
I think
it.
you just met Zach.
Also, what a day.
Oh, in Charlotte? We had no idea it was coming.
I know.
So in Charlotte, we had our day off on the King's Kaleidoscope tour. We had played Atlanta the day before, went like a couple hours to Charlotte just to do laundry at Zach's house and hang out with him. I wanted to hang out with John Mark, all that stuff. We did that.
Stayed in Atlanta.
You did,
I stayed
yeah.
in Atlanta. You guys went to Charlotte.
Yeah, and then so we were doing that. And
Stay with me.
anyway.
Please cut that out.
Wait, let's cut for 1 second. Hey, Jeremy, how much time do we have? How long have we been going for? You're gonna have to like throw your hands up because I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
40 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go as long as you want to.
Let's keep going. Yeah. What time is it?
It's 9:09.
It's
Okay,
8
cool.
o'clock a.m.
Cool. We're chilling. we got another
We're good all night.
little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Yeah. If you could cut out that part, just when he says, "Where are you staying?" Where'd you stay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Idiot, bro.
No, that was funny though.
I know.
Okay. And 3, 2.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. So we're in Charlotte. We have the off day. We stayed. Well, first off, we had one hotel room. You guys stayed in there, and was it me and you that stayed in the
We
van?
didn't even stay in there, but yeah. That was the shower situation.
No, that was a different night. That was when we drove to Atlanta. This is when we actually stayed there. Because I slept in the parking lot.
Yes, that's right.
Next to that
situation. What happened?
do you remember like when we had those 2 hotel rooms, but we just wanted to shower in them and then drive overnight to get to Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
But we had already paid for the hotel rooms, and so like it was just kind of like
$700 to shower.
Yeah. Dude, in some days you would like
That's
because
when I like the group chat.
Yeah, group chat was blown up.
Yeah, a lot of miscommunication.
It was just like miscommunications for all of us. But anyways,
Not
I'm sleeping in the van and it's running overnight. We're next to like a crowded nightclub, and I'm like, I'm gonna get stolen, like for sure. But
You're gonna get stolen.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna steal you.
No, they're gonna take the van. They're not gonna know I'm in the back.
Right.
And so we get driving around like 6 a.m. And Ivan stops. Ivan is one of our friends. You know Ivan. But we brought him to be our driver, which is funny that we brought him to be our driver because I think he did like a total of like 2.5 hours of driving the whole time.
He's there to have a good time.
Yeah.
He's just vibing.
He shows up.
We're keeping this one in.
Yeah. So first off, like Ivan is like the sweetest dude ever.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, we're gonna bring you like because he'd been saying, he's like, bring me out to sell merch and drive. And I'm like, okay. But we like flew him out. It was expensive to fly him out.
Right.
He gets there the first day. Like he's there so that we don't have to drive. First day, he's like, oh man, I'm so tired. Good night, guys. And we're like, bro, what? You're driving? He's like, bro, I just got here. Come on. And I'm like, dude, we brought you out to drive. And so Adam, because Adam is just very sweet and also just like thinks about a lot of people in that way, you know?
Yeah.
I was just like, I'll drive. And so I feel like Adam drove that trip more than Ivan did.
Yeah, I drove a lot.
Yeah. But okay, so we're taking off from the hotel. We probably get an hour onto the road. Ivan stops to go pee and he thinks I should gas up, which is a good idea. Gas up when you're at a gas station. He puts the gas pump in the van, starts pumping, and the lady, I don't know if the lady came out yelling or something like that.
No, there is a.
No, you guys were leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
was this the diesel story?
Yeah.
There is 2 other truck drivers
Yes,
that were
broken
just
down.
absolutely furious, and they're just talking about diesel or water in the diesel.
Yeah, there was water in the
Yeah.
diesel. So basically the van won't start because there was water in the diesel gasoline at this gas station. And so we spent 15 hours there.
It was the whole
It was the
Yeah,
whole
and it was
day.
Memorial Day weekend, so everywhere was closed. Tow truck companies were closed. We
Yeah.
finally found one. We didn't make the show last night, and then they canceled the next night due to someone on the King's crew had COVID. And so the tour just ended like that. So we get in the van after 15 hours and, couple grand.
I mean,
I'm also like
Yeah,
this
Dan's
whole time-
waiting in DC.
Yeah, Dan's
I'm
gone.
in DC, bro, in the green room, like laying back, like watching YouTube videos, bro.
He's watching Love
I'm like,
Island.
Are you guys almost here?
Every story,
Eating.
the thing.
every story starts with
Wait,
either
at the venue?
yeah, because he flew from the off
I
day.
flew from Atlanta.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the thing is about Ivan, for those who don't know, he used to be a mechanic.
Yeah, so that was nice.
Yeah.
He
And-
kind of paid for
Well,
like the lack of driving.
Here's
He
the
did
thing.
Yeah.
that day.
When you see a mechanic like on their knees about the situation, you know it's really bad.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Ivan
Seeing,
was tweaking,
Ivan was
yeah,
tweaking.
texting
Like
me
to
about
see a mechanic who knows well enough about vehicles, to see him like stressed out, like it's bad.
yeah.
So that was the worst day
I used to
ever.
give Ivan beer to change my oil.
Dude, that sounds like the most like college student or like school student of all time of like, hey, can I get you to do this extremely sought after, skillful thing? I'll buy you coffee.
Yeah.
Like that makes, or a beer. Yeah. I mean, a beer can be cheaper than coffee in
Case of
Reading.
Modelo's. Change my oil.
Not a case. He's like, I'll buy you. He's like, I'll buy you a case of Modelo's, and then he goes and just gets a tall boy of Modelo. It's like, hey, so it's basically 2 of them.
So, yeah.
we were stranded.
Oh, but we drive to Harrisburg, because
Pennsylvania.
because we were doing a music video there the day after the tour, anyways, and we knew that the next day was getting canceled, and so we picked up Dan in DC. We drive to Harrisburg. We shoot the music video for 2 days, and it was so hot. Like we were in those
That was the I
Need You music
I
video.
was
Yeah.
about to like. I literally remember, and this is TMI probably.
Yeah.
But I went to the restroom and I peed, but I think some got on the costume a little bit
Yeah.
because it was just so hard. So I literally am sweating.
It's just so hard, is what he said.
Smelling like pee the whole day, and I'm like literally about to have a mental breakdown playing "I Need You" by this maybe
Dude,
45th time.
I was wringing out my sleeve.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like of the costume, like that's how sweaty I was. So we did that. It was 2 days of it, probably 14-hour days, like crazy. And we finished it all up, and then we get into the car around midnight and start driving to Nashville, where we're dropping off the van. And Adam's driving. Or Ivan was supposed to, but Ivan was tie.
He's gonna love this.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, bro.
I drove more than that, bro.
No tengo pantalones. So we get in there, and we're supposed to get there at 8:30 a.m. We're supposed to be in Nashville at 8:30 a.m. So some of us go to sleep in our bunks. Like, it's like a van that was like outfitted with some bunks. It's like not a bus, but it was definitely a Sprinter. You know, it was nice.
Yeah.
And we start driving. I wake up and it's 9, so it's after when we're supposed to be in Nashville. And so I'm like, okay, we're probably just pulling in. And I woke up because we got off the exit or something like that. And I checked my GPS, and we're still like 2.5 hours away from Nashville.
More, bro.
It was like 3.5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And I go up to the front, and I go, what's going on? And Adam just has this, like, Adam is clear. He's not even like pale, like he's clear. He's see-through.
Was that really?
You looked sick to your stomach,
Oh,
like,
probably, yeah.
yeah. And we were going 25 on the highway,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like because I guess like we had replaced
to the metal.
Yeah,
Going
we
25.
had replaced the whole fuel line in there that day, but I guess some of the water got into the engine, and so it can't accelerate, and so we're driving like 30 miles an hour on the highway back to Nashville. So we're supposed to get there at like 8:30 a.m. Our flight was at what, 7:30 p.m. that night?
No, it was
7:50.
It was earlier.
3 or
Yeah.
4.
Was okay? So our flight was later, and we had a ton of time. But like it ended up taking so much time that we got there as baggage was shutting off.
Oh my gosh.
But the worst thing was, this thing, So we told
We're
this guy.
shitting on Ivan this whole time.
No, but I mean, so I think this is the best part for me. Now,
This is the worst part for me, bro.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I was like, I'm never touring again.
That was our last liver. We were almost there.
Yeah, we were almost there. No, okay, so
We're gonna be fine.
we're obviously driving the van. We have a trailer with the van with a bunch of gear that we rented, right? So we go drop off the gear, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go drop off the van. So Gable tells Ivan like,
Trailer.
hey, this
This is the address. Yeah.
this is the address to drop off the van.
I said, do you want me to send it? Or I texted it to him.
Yeah, you texted
Yeah.
to him, and then
He looked at it and he typed it into his
he
GPS.
looked at it and typed into GPS. But instead of let's say the address was like 1314 Pike's Place, he went to Pike Lane, which was 45 minutes from where we're actually supposed to be. So I'm calling.
And 45 minutes is an hour and a half when you're going 30 on the highway.
Yeah, so
Right.
I call my our friend Nate. Let us borrow gear. I think you know Nate. He was there for Fraction Heart.
Nate Haynes.
Haynes,
Nate
shout
Haynes.
out.
Oh yeah, I love Nate. Yeah.
The best. Nate's the best. So I called Nate and I'm like, hey bro, we're here. And he's like, I don't see
Oh, it was so
you.
bad. We're in like an apartment complex.
Yeah, we're in an apartment complex and
Supposedly where we're supposed to be dropping off the trailer.
And then-
Some Toro stuff, you know?
literally. And then Nate's like, you're not here, bro. Like, I would see you. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like, Ivan, are we at the right place? And I just see Gable walk out of the van. And Gable's pacing back and forth outside.
Bro, that's probably like, I still feel like a tightness in my chest when I think of it. That was probably the worst day of my life.
There's a lot of pacing.
like
for you.
circumstantially not the worst day of my life, like
Sure.
100%. But like in terms of the amount of anxiety I felt in that day was probably like the most like. Every time we'd get past something, it would be another thing.
Yeah.
It was like 45 minutes away from me.
And then we got the 45 minutes away, and then we dropped off the trailer, and no Ubers would pick us up from there.
Yeah, we were trying to get Ubers from the place because obviously we don't have a van anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
well,
Ubers.
We're in like some
Zero.
like desert area.
Yeah, no,
It was, like,
we were dropping
so
off the trailer,
random.
and we were like, okay, if we can get an Uber, one of us can drive the van to the guy and Uber back, so at least we can get the bags checked. Because you can show up to the airport, if you're fast, you can get there like at a certain time, and if you have like TSA pre or something, you're gonna get through in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
But there was no Ubers. We were out of range, and so we had to go drive, get to this guy, this poor guy. It wasn't even a rental company. It was a guy with a band who rented it to us, and so we took it out to him. He had been waiting at Target for like 6 hours because like they had like one car.
Wasn't he with his kid?
He was with his kid, and they're playing at Target, and so we asked him to add it to the invoice because we were gonna, invoice the gas station.
Know that.
But yeah.
That he was waiting.
Bro, dude, I'm tech.
He literally went through every single toy in the
Bro, they read every single book there, bro. They read like the entire Artemis Fowl series, bro.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they went through 14 Obama table books.
Only Target still. You know how you could use to like play the games?
Yeah, they took him out.
They took them out. If they
Because
had
it was
that-
hurting everyone's necks, bro. Everyone's looking at playing Madden 06.
I was in. I'm gonna switch gears after this.
Dude, switch gears, my
I was
dog.
in Dallas a couple month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and they have like Fortnite stations where you can play.
No way.
At the airport, you pay like 30
At the airport?
$30 for like an hour.
Oh, dude,
While
I already
you're
know
waiting.
you paid $30.
No,
man.
dude, I was there at like 5 a.m. and I was like, it opened up as I was going on my flight, and I was like,
Yeah.
next time. I want to know. Also, that. Not to blow past that, those stories are crazy.
It was
Very
crazy, bro.
stressful.
And that
Yeah.
would make me so disheartened. I would be so disheartened. And
I was kind of done.
Also,
Never
the
want a
spirits
tour.
were all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way down.
I just
Yeah.
remember seeing, like, I was here and I remember seeing on Instagram, like, oh, their trailer's messed up. Oh, there's gas, there's water in their diesel. Like, and then hearing all this stuff about the flights, I'm like, oh my God.
We've had
Like,
pretty bad travel luck.
Yeah.
And Dom was telling us, our manager, was like, this happens to no one else. He's like, I've been doing this for years and no one's
Never.
because
more than 10 years.
oh yeah, and like we
Never
had that happened. And then our flight got canceled before that like huge festival.
It was
we
our
were supposed
biggest
to do.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
biggest
supposed to be like 20,000 people were going to play in front of. Our flight got canceled sitting in the plane in Reading. And then we were going to drive to Sacramento, and then the Sacramento flight got
that
canceled.
sucks, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just the consequence of being alive.
Yeah.
Available on Spotify, iTunes,
wanna-
Apple Music.
I
Pandora.
wanna
Pandora.
know, what are your guys' like biggest hot takes in music right now?
Ooh.
Bro, I have none. I'm listening to like the same
I
stuff.
don't know.
You have no hot takes in music right now.
I feel like TikTok has ruined music. At least
That's
a
fair.
lot of like mainstream pop radio music. Because it's all commercial. It's all consumerism. It's not like, at least, never mind. Not all of it.
No, don't
but
say no. No, I hear you.
You know what I mean? I feel like
I'm looking like
Imagine Adam doesn't even have TikTok. He's just like
I have
boomer.
TikTok. You know what my
He's a
TikTok
boomer.
I
is?
know Adam has TikTok.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. That's all it is.
Jay-Z.
I'm just like, I mean, are there any, like, I have a hot take for music, but I'm like, I want to know, like I truly do not like Taylor Swift.
Really?
No.
I like some Swizzle, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
I like
are we out of the woods yet? Banger.
Okay, I haven't listened to the new record at all. Well, I kind of listened to it, but it was a little bit for me, just like on like the half a listen through, it did feel a little bit like it's so sick that I'm kind of a jerk. Like
Yeah.
the lyrics are all like, I am pretty unthoughtful and I'm kind of trying to ruin these guys. And it's so cute. I'm like, you're 35. But on the other hand, I loved Folklore. I've loved all of the Taylor's version stuff. The new stuff, like, it isn't even bad, but even like the I'm the problem, it's me thing, is I'm like, there's a lot of people who don't need to feel celebrated for being the problem. Like the people on TikTok who are watching that, using that audio, probably need to hear like a song that's like, hey, you're the problem, and it kind of sucks for everyone else.
Can I? I'm gonna pull my phone up and I'm gonna list off a bunch of names, band names, and I just want you guys to be like,
smash or pass. But like, listen.
yeah, but like, yeah.
You can edit that out. Sorry.
No, I'm not gonna edit that out.
No, it is. We want the real thing.
Did you make a playlist?
No.
Yeah, you're just
said,
you're just looking.
I'm just gonna
You just started
okay,
this.
ready?
Okay, yeah.
Alright.
You ready? Okay. Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh,
What are the options?
Wait, hot or not? No. What did I do last time? It was like
Brother, I'm married. There's no good outcome to me
No,
answering
it's
any
like-
of these things.
Overrated or underrated?
overrated, underrated. That's
Okay.
what it
Okay,
is.
yeah.
Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. You ready? Tame Impala.
I think accurately rated.
I have no comment really. I don't really listen.
I would say their music is accurately rated. Their merch is overrated.
Did
Facts.
you know it's actually only one guy? His name is Kevin Parker.
Well, no, it's like-
that's a flashback to me
What's the-
last week.
What's the one act that everyone wears their merch? Or is it like Joy Division?
Yeah.
I've never heard a Joy Division song, but like everyone has their merch.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Do you
that.
have one?
For Tame, I think he recently for me overrated.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Phoebe Bridgers.
yeah.
I'll say mine. Overrated.
I was gonna say that.
Overrated.
I feel like overrated too.
Yeah.
She blew up. Like,
Yeah.
I'd say overrated.
yeah.
That's surprising, but because I know both of you love Phoebe Bridgers.
We do.
I
See,
love
I don't know. because the thing is like Phoebe Bridgers has such a huge name, but at the same time isn't like selling out insanely large venues. Like isn't like she's opening the T Swift tour.
Yeah.
And so like I think like since she's not in like arenas yet, like she's in theaters, but everyone knows who Phoebe Bridgers is. I'd say underrated in the sense of like the fact of her name repetition might be a little overrated.
Yeah.
Her ticket sales super underrated.
Yeah.
Super underrated. Yeah.
But
I'd agree with that. I hate her. Her fans are so annoying.
That's
Yeah.
literally,
Fans are terrible.
that's the
That's-
only reason I think she's ever.
I mean, that's-
Every time I've seen Bangs in the last year, I'm like,
I mean, Taylor Swift fans are pretty crazy too.
Dude, on Twitter,
Diehard
you
Taylor Swift
mention one
fans.
thing negative about Phoebe Bridgers, and your account is done.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Elon Musk is about to cut you off.
I absolutely. That's what I hate. I'm like, I want to stop listening to music, like artists whose fans will like come and like
yeah.
kill me. I'm like,
BTS.
Yeah.
I-
That's how 21
BTS
Pilots
underrated.
21 Pilots fan base was back in the
they're
day.
pretty annoying.
Okay,
This is the skeleton clique.
let me get back on. Let me get back on these.
Sorry, yeah,
while I'm
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Casey Musgraves.
Oh,
Ooh.
Underrated.
Accurate.
Yeah, underrated.
I'd say accurately rated.
Accurate.
We saw her, bro.
Accurate.
And I literally, okay, this is just something else. But I feel like underrated because when I saw her, bro, I literally lost my mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
I haven't seen her live. I'm gonna say overrated
Okay.
in the sense of her merch is sold in Walmart.
That's pretty crazy.
Like
How
that's
can we get in
that's dude. Bro, they're
I would-
$5,
that's
bro.
crazy.
$5.
$5 too.
I gotta go
I
with
can't.
it.
I can't support the ethic behind it,
I was
bro.
gonna say, bro.
Amen.
There's some
My
little ones making
ethic
those.
cuts off at H&M.
The next one.
Wait, did Cam go?
No, sorry.
I said underrated.
Yeah,
for
you-
Casey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Reliant K.
Overrated, bro. Oh, dude. I'm sorry, Gable.
It's okay.
Who are the two bands that you guys like?
I didn't get to vote.
No. Oh yeah, fair. Yeah.
We're doing the same size rooms as Reliant K, but everyone knows Reliant K. Underrated, dude.
But who are the two? There's two bands that you guys.
I'm poor, I'm starving, I'm flat broke, I got no cash to spend.
Here's the thing. Here's the
Reliant
thing.
K.
Reliant
That you
K.
hate.
Is there another one?
Gang of Youth. You hate Gang
Yeah.
of Youth.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
was
No,
it Radiohead or?
Well, they don't like Radiohead.
No, that's what it is. There's two bands that you guys both love, but each other equally hate.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
I don't-
You
I
hate
don't
Reliant K.
Yeah.
Not hate.
No,
you
no,
don't-
hey,
you
I don't
like
enjoy
it.
their music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't like them.
Yeah.
Bro, Reliant K is gonna be like, we're gonna take these guys on tour and they're gonna like, let's just look them up. And they're gonna see this podcast and be like,
podcast and
ah,
they're
that
like,
Guatemalan
listen.
boy.
Listen, separate the artist from the art, bro.
That's fair.
No,
Let's not get into that.
No, I'm just kidding. I also this when I listen to music, I cannot tell you the lyrics of any song I've ever listened
That's
to.
fair.
And from what I've heard, they're great writers. Their music is just not something I would listen to.
Yeah,
So for me, it's overrated.
Great.
I don't think it's creatively inspired me.
that's fine.
yeah.
I like them. I don't know if they're. I'd say underrated.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kings of Leon.
Oh no, I don't think everyone's gone.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
Reliant K?
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in Reliant K. And I know probably a handful of songs, but sorry, Dan.
They're just rated.
I'm with the boys.
It's your opinion.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I think they're
They
underrated.
haven't put out a new record in how many years?
It's 2016 was there for
I
free.
definitely wouldn't say they're.
Wait, they're still a
overrated.
band? Just kidding.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
I
they're-
hear about them a lot, but maybe
Yeah.
it's the circle.
That's fair.
It's the
Yeah,
circle.
that could be. It's the
Yeah.
Christianese circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap this.
We
one
had
up
4 options.
with Kings of Leon.
Accurately rated, bro. There's no way. They're
I feel like they glowed up. Like listening to King of Rodeo versus like their newest record. I'm like that. I try to ignore it. But listening to like, or even Only by the Night versus the things, or what is it?
I don't know. I don't listen to secular music.
dude, but
So
come around sundown, bro.
Wait, what's the name of the freaking record that just came out like 2 years ago?
when you see yourself,
Delta. I'm just
Are you
kidding. That was
fine?
That album.
My first
Yeah.
one.
Like listening to that versus Only by the Night, which is the album that introduced me to them. It's like, whoa.
I think they'll always be underrated because they're literally family, and I don't know. I mean, they go home, and like if you've seen the you've seen the documentary
I've seen it
with
like
me.
20 times.
Their home isn't the most glamorous thing. They'll always go home like after tour and just vibe out again. And yeah, I think they're.
If it was 2012, I would say overrated. I'm gonna say underrated now. They have great longevity.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
I always like to as we're kind of like wrapping up a little bit, I always have like this segment where I ask people if they want to ask me anything, and I'm extending this if you guys wanna
Does
ask
the
me.
carpet match the drapes? I'm just kidding.
It can be serious, it can be funny, it can be deep, it can be shallow,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. That's a
Delete my part.
yeah. That's a great question.
I'm not gonna delete that.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
How's your liquid death water?
I'm out.
Oh,
Yeah. It
What was
it was tasty.
what was your first impression of each and every one of us?
Ooh.
I think Chase wants to.
Wait, is it?
I
Is
think. Do you think he has something specific he wants us to ask?
Do you want us?
Oh.
Do you want us to ask us something? Ask you something?
What?
was that the question?
Bro,
Do you,
I'm fine. I just.
No, I
get
wasn't.
nervous.
Sorry. No. I can answer that. I just wanted to set aside a second where you're like, you can ask me anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's no rules. It can be about creative stuff. What like it does not
Yeah.
matter. Like
Yeah.
Do you miss drumming?
absolutely,
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a great
absolutely
question.
not. Bro.
Why don't you miss
Oh, you said
drumming?
absolutely.
You were a great
Yeah.
drummer. What
Chase is a
changed?
very good
This is a
drummer.
great question.
Yeah.
I
That's a great
got
question.
okay.
I've wondered this, and I'm just a very bad friend where I just don't ask
I
my
think-
friend that, but we're on a microphone.
Here's the answer. I miss the camaraderie of music, but when I moved here, this is the only place I've lived where I've had to compete with music, and I really hate it. And I was like some of my closest friends, you, Ivan, all these people. It was constantly like, who's gonna get it?
Oh
Who's
yeah,
gonna get
how do
it?
I measure up against my friends?
and
Kind of
dude,
thing. Yeah.
honestly, it made me sick. And I was like, when I got done with school, I was like, I don't ever want to do this ever again. Like I never like if I could find my own niche thing,
Yeah.
like that would be fun. But I don't want to like. There is a part of me I really want to start a pop punk band.
That's sick.
Like honestly, like I really want to do that, but I got sick of it like messing and coming between my friendships. I'm like, music's supposed to bring you together, not divide you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got tired of that, and I think that where we live, that's the only place that really exists. So that's basically why I stopped. Do I miss it? No. I have had like a lot of people kind of like drop hints at me playing again, and I'm like, I'd have to buy all my gear again, and I'd
Yeah,
have
it
to
makes
like
sense.
You have a
practice
snare,
again.
bro. It's just in my
Somewhere,
house.
bro.
No, it's in my house.
Somewhere.
That's how I feel with my amps. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know who's got it, but it's somewhere.
Somebody's got it. But no, that's a great question. No, I just kind of like, I love it and respect it. And it was like a very beautiful time in my life. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't have met any of you guys without music actually.
Yeah.
So it's like, I appreciate it. And I think when I have a child one day, like maybe I'll pick it back up as a bonding thing. But for right now, I think photography and video has given me the same camaraderie that I feel with music. Like it's really funny how I feel like I'm more involved with music now than I was when I was playing music.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like being in a room, I think having the knowledge of music has helped me with like capturing music. So like even if I'm like, you know, videoing something, I'm like, oh, I know there's a lead line right there, or I know that there's a drum part right there because I played that song a million times.
Yeah.
Versus someone who doesn't know. So I think I have the upper hand over most people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I would say let's say in the next year, what would you be the most excited about doing that you haven't done in the last year? Like what do you want to do?
I want to tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what sense?
I want to find a musician or find a band
Or a magician.
or a magician.
or a
And
pediatrician?
I literally just want to follow them.
Yeah.
Like that's all I want to do. Like, hey, we're going on tour for a month. Like here's a day rate, blah blah blah. We want photos at the end of this, and if they want like daily video captures, like same thing. Like I just want to go on tour with a sick band, like, and like I love like the backstage moments, and I love like when someone's like tuning their guitar before they go on stage, but you can see the crowd. There's just like all those like really cool moments.
Yeah.
I would love to make. I would love to make like because I already made a photo book, like a zine.
Dude, it's so sick, by the way.
I appreciate that.
A limousine.
I want to make a photo book of like a tour I go on.
Yes.
And like stuff that never makes Instagram. It's like the boys crushing beers, you know, in the shower. You know what I mean? Or
Bro,
like,
he has a Ram Ranch photo. I want to take your photo dreams are like word for word Ram Ranch. You're like, I want to take these photos. I just picture 18 dudes
Cowboys,
just
yeah.
naked, and they're all cowboys, and they're in the showers, and this place is called Ram Ranch.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's such a big thing. Like it's so like up and down and such a broad term, but like I would love to find someone or get picked up by someone or like work with an artist and be able to photograph their live shows in really cool venues and it just be like so effortless.
Yeah.
What would be the dream venue for you to shoot?
Probably Red Rocks
Yeah.
or like the what's the
Ryman?
Ryman?
the Ryman
The Dip in Reading?
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden, and then I think
MSG.
What's the hall in Nashville?
The Ryman.
Oh, the Grand Ole Opry.
Grand Ole Opry would be
Yeah.
super
That would be
sick.
sick.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
there's people like I don't know if you guys know who Andy Barron is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Andy Barron's like one of my favorite photographers.
He was Foster the People's photographer for a
Yeah.
while, right? I followed him through.
Yeah.
You know.
So like what he does, where he just like follows these people, and
Yeah.
I
He's
think,
with Chris Stapleton now.
he's like his stuff is crazy. Like Nolan, like I love Nolan's stuff.
yeah, so
like
sick.
I talked to Nolan about coming on here. Shout out Nolan Knight,
Yeah.
and he wants to come on, and it's just Anyway, that's probably what I would be, and then also like maybe like having a family would be cool.
That's awesome.
Psych.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's sick.
Great. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So as we wrap up, I would love to know what would be like a piece of just real advice that you would give someone who is in a band or wanting to start a band, and I mean, you guys are signed to a major label now. That's a really big deal.
Yeah.
Like, what are some in the vein of how I started this podcast with like not taking shortcuts?
Yeah.
You know, like what is some advice you could give someone who is like kind of in where you guys were at with Reading EP?
Don't take our advice on that.
What is some advice that you could give to a band who wants to get where you guys are going?
Do you guys care if I start?
Go for it.
Go for it.
So, a thing I see a lot. So what I always say is, you only fail when you stop trying. Is a big thing. But with bands, with artists, a thing I'm seeing increasingly more of is people who are starting their thing and using the verbiage of the bands they admire, which is fine, but you don't have a fan base. And it's like this thing of just like, you know, like last night happened, so sick. Anyways, on to the next one kind of thing. Like just this nonchalant thing. But it's like, that was your aunt, your uncle, 10 of your greatest friends there. Be like, I love my friends so much. Thank you guys so much for believing in me. Just be a normal person.
Yeah.
Like like there's so many people who start a band and because they listen to like their favorite artist has like this cool persona. Like all the bigger the people we meet, the more grateful they are. Like they're just super grateful. But like you see these new acts like come act like a total jerk to their friends on social media in the sense of just like show last night was wild. Where should I play next? It's your brother-in-law and your cousin who are going to comment on that. Be the most grateful person of all time. Because the thing is like, it is so rare for music to work out. And I'm so thankful it has worked out for us this far. And so who you are in those moments really is going to define your relationships. Because if you're just taking everyone for granted, it's the whole song Upside on our record. Enjoy the ride until it breaks down. It will. There's going to be a day when Gable Price and Friends, God forbid, I hope it's a long time from now, isn't making music anymore. And the relationships we made, the people we loved, is what's really going to matter, not how cool we looked. And I see all these young musicians starting solo projects, starting bands, and creating this nonchalant attitude when they should just be the most grateful person alive that someone wanted to hear him sing.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
That's amazing.
You guys aren't ready to hear this one. It's like, I am.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
Oh, yes, it's like, you ain't ready for this. I'm like, we fully are.
Yeah,
Like,
we fully are.
Like,
I don't want it.
you know what you should say is like,
yeah.
the best response I've seen from our stuff is when I'm like, hey, this song means so much to me. It would mean the world to me if you guys listen to it.
Yeah.
But when people are like, y'all ain't ready for this, new song tomorrow.
Big things come in eyes.
Yeah, big things coming. Sorry, I can't respond to all the messages today. Shut up. Like, shut up. You live in Reading.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in LA.
Yeah.
No one's gonna. You don't get. If you don't get recognized at Evergreen, you ain't crap. You know.
No, that's so funny. No, but I mean, yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest things, and like, work hard. Like, there's no. Obviously, we're not where we want to be, but we're a lot farther than we are when we started. But I think I've seen all of us work very hard. And it can be so easy to be like, oh, I'm just gonna make some music, and then you kind of work on a song once a week, and you're like, oh, why am I not making it? It's like, no, I literally practiced 8 hours a day. I would play shuffle on my iPod, and every song that I couldn't play, I would play until my hands would bleed. And like, I feel like that's what people don't see is like the amount that Gable, the amount of songs that Gable has written, or the amount of time that Adam and Cam have practiced. Like, it can be so easy to be like, oh, dude, I'm grinding. Like, oh, dude, grind set mindset. You know what I mean? Like,
if you only grind like when your Instagram's on.
yeah, exactly. Like actually explore creatively. Like, dude, listen to music you wouldn't listen to. I listen to the weirdest music that I can listen to. And people make fun. Sometimes people make fun of me, but it's like,
We always make fun of you.
People make fun of me for having a grill, bro.
But it's like,
I'm good at it.
I'm actually expanding my mind. I'm expanding my taste. Like, I'm working on music all the time. I don't really stop working on my craft. Why? Because I want to make music and I want to be good at it.
Right.
So I would say that's the thing that I would say to anyone who wants to make music is like, yeah, like, actually don't. Yeah, you
Don't suck.
Not don't suck, but it's like, it's fine to suck. But if you're not actually doing anything about it, then you're never gonna actually make it. If the only time you're working on music is when you're making a story, or if you know what I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
it makes sense why nothing is happening for you.
Yeah.
Like the people that are blowing up, or anything that happens for anyone, there's probably hundreds of hours behind that, and you're seeing the 1 hour. You're seeing the 4 minutes of the result of that.
Yeah.
So I would just say that work hard. Work harder than the people that you admire. Spend more time than you think is necessary, and that is going to speak for itself.
Yeah, that's
not
good.
your
That's
Instagram
amazing.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, before we end, I know everyone else has to say this. We have another rant that we're gonna go on. Just so you know.
Okay.
It's about gear.
It's about gear talk.
Oh,
Great.
It's going.
I don't have anything to add. That was really good. So, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I remember when you were recording Communion in the basement.
Oh, just loosen up. Recording is hard, so
It is.
it is. Yeah. I don't know.
And there's nothing you can't get good at.
There's nothing
Right.
you can't get
There
good
really
at.
isn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
This might sound cliche or cause a calamity, but just do whatever you do with the people you love, and do it with your buds, do it with your best friends, even if you're not close with them. I think having, at least with our band, we've had a lot of tough conversations, and at least for me recently, it's just like, speak out what's on your heart, what's on your mind, and that way we can get things clear and everything to be healthy. Or like, speak out. Don't speak out like really
Lash
bad.
out.
Yeah. Don't bad things, but like, just be honest with each other. Honestly, like, that's what's gonna grow things. And just be a good person, really. And just like, for the four of us, we've known each other since 2017, and before we were a band, we just knew each other as people and friends. And even though we're doing music together, we actually spend time just like hanging out.
Yeah.
And that goes for a lot of bands too that you see or like look up to. They've known each other for years, even before music, just being best buds. And and just love the person, honestly. That sounds
good.
Typical, but honestly, it's good.
You can be the best musician in the world, but the reality of it is every train, every car breaks down eventually. And if you're a jerk to everyone, that's all you got.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
never be too cool for people.
Yeah.
You know?
No, the I think your ability opens the door, but what actually keeps you in there is your attitude.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that people don't realize how much time you spend with people when you're traveling. It's like
Yeah.
you can get a gig because you're good, but you're not gonna keep it if you suck.
I
As a person.
I grew up in church hearing
Yeah.
favor gets you in the room, character keeps you there.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's
I
so
definitely
true.
understand that.
Shaka laka, dude.
Where's it going? You got to make this rant quick.
Wait,
No,
I have one more
bro.
thing to say. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
No, can you say?
Your name plus and friends is not a good band name. The only reason it works is because Gable Price is the coolest name ever.
That's true,
Yeah, that's
dude.
true.
I mean, there's been so many. Thank you.
Yeah.
So first off, my whole life, I wanted to be named Kyle.
No way.
When I was young, like I wanted like a boring name because,
Kyle, bro?
bro, my name was Gable, bro. Imagine being a middle schooler with the name Gay in your name, bro. Like literally, like it was so hard back
Cal.
then. But now I'm like so happy that my name is Gable because it's such a cool name.
Yeah.
And people are always
yeah.
like, "So is that your real name?" It's like Hawk Nelson. They're like, and that was no one's actual name, but like they're like, "Is that your real name?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like
Dude, I mean, and
dreaded it for most of my life. Love it now.
I mean, the way you
that's the
introduce
reason-
yourself is, I'm Gable, table with a G.
It's table with a G, baby.
Dude,
Always.
but that's what we show up first on YouTube, baby.
Yeah, bro.
Gable.
It's like the only other thing is a corner of a house.
Yeah.
The corner of
Is
like
that
the
what-
roof of the house is called a gable. Yeah.
Holding it together.
Dude, the cornerstone holding together, dude. Okay, rant time.
Yeah.
Also, I hope I didn't come off harsh with those tips. I've just noticed a lot more recently. There's a lot of cool guy factor.
Yeah.
I mean, we all had it a little bit when we moved here. And like there's like this cool guy factor. If you see the top dogs acting like that, I'm like, they act like that because they shouldn't act like that in the first place. But there's a lot of people who have worked really hard and then they start to do that because they're kind of like at the top, whatever. I still think that's dumb. But there's these people who get their first foot in the door and then they start acting like that. I'm like, I hope that first foot feels good because that's as far as you get, bro.
Yeah.
It's as far as you get. You suck.
Yeah.
Gear talk.
Jeez.
So there's a bunch of Facebook groups. we were just talking about this before, and we were like, we got to say this in the podcast because this needs to be heard.
Yeah.
From people,
If people have made it this
from
far.
people who are making.
Yeah.
They will, bro, dude. People buy T-shirts with like old song lyrics on it, bro. They're gonna listen to our whole podcast. So there are a bunch of gear pages, and this is from people who are all doing music, and our band's doing great. Stop being such a jerk on the gear forums. No one gives a crap.
Dude,
Like
Guitar beef is so weird. I
it's
hate
so
it.
weird.
It's so weird.
Okay, so what was the one you guys were talking about today?
no, I mean, I was in the bathroom before this, and I was on my phone, so you can
No
guess what I
way.
was doing. So I'm like scrolling through in Facebook for some reason. I just felt kind of crazy in that moment.
Boomer-esque.
Yeah, and then I see a post, and I'm like, someone posts about like what their stage setup was. Super excited, right? I'm like, oh, dude, nice. Dude, so apparently it's the wrong season for the type of decoration they have. So they had 75 comments. Every single one of them was negative. And then the guy was just like, "Oh, look at the stage setup," and I was like, "You're an idiot. Oh, this is the wrong season. Oh, you're doing Easter and Christmas."
It was a church. It was a church. It was for Christmas. There was a crown of thorns.
There was a crown of thorns on the
Oh,
stage.
I saw that one, yeah.
Yeah, right. Dude, it's a crown of thorns. And I was like, "Oh, dude, I thought it was Christmas, not Easter." Like every single comment. I'm like, "Why are you being such a douche?"
I'm like, these dudes
You're
make
so
32
excited.
G's a year, and all of a sudden they're like, can't fit it in their pants anymore, bro. Like,
Oh, you know, they're making $50 a weekend, bro, for
Yeah.
4 services.
well, they're
You know
just
what I mean?
like, as the supreme leader of Christ Fellowship East Side in Birmingham, I have the highest opinion of all. Shut up, dude. Like,
Typical
who
Ohio.
cares? This dude. First
Ohio
off,
behavior. Wait.
Ohio's great.
Ohio behavior.
That's Kentucky behavior, dude.
Typical Church of Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
those forums are cancerous.
I-
bro.
People that are
Yeah,
honest,
yeah. Literally.
they post like videos of them playing, and then, like this is not a rag on like people playing because people are where they're at.
Yeah.
But like usually the people that are the meanest or the loudest are not the greatest players.
Yeah.
Or the people who are the meanest and the loudest, you go to their page and there's no videos of them playing.
That's true.
No.
Because people love
They
to be
just have their
haters.
7 kids.
I love being a hater on Twitter though. It's fun.
I unfollowed you, bro. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I deleted Twitter.
I'm recently back on Twitter and I'm ready to be
Your
as.
page got hacked.
That's my old page, bro. Dude, the funniest one is there's all the hacked things of like these different ads and like anime stuff
Yeah.
and all that.
I don't know about that.
Not like the kinky anime, but like there's just anime. But there's just one tweet that all of all it says is LMAO Tyler. I'm like, man, I wish this was my normal Twitter. This is sick. But yes, all that being said, if you're on those gear pages being a jerk, from Gable Price and Friends, stop
All
it.
of us.
Get help.
Get help.
Get help.
Get help. Get counseling. Don't
Yeah.
take it out on little people trying to, not
They're
little
doing
people,
their best.
on people who are just getting started, getting a pedal board.
It's just gear.
Your choice of your power supply does not make it any larger down there.
Yeah.
True.
I
I agree.
Yeah.
just want to say thanks for coming on, guys.
No, are we?
We've got like 4 more things to say. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We're coming out.
Playing for 3 more hours.
We've
Is
been
that
going-
fun?
One of the bonus
Dude, this
episodes.
is healing rooms, bro.
If you want, we can do it again later in a couple weeks.
I'm down.
It'll be fun.
Part two?
Part 2.
Whoa.
No, seriously, thank you guys for coming on. You guys are shaking hands.
I was going to shake Cam's hand, but he wasn't looking.
Oh, sorry.
I love you guys.
Love you too,
and
Chase.
I'm like super proud of you. Like it feels really special to see everything that's been going on, and I think that people need to hear and see that it's very like attainable
Yeah.
what you can do when you
I
like
love you, bro.
put your head together and work hard.
Thanks,
so yeah, I'm excited to see what this next year brings. Can you guys give me like a little snippet?
A
Yeah,
snippet
bro.
Of what?
What's
We'll give you a
next
little
this year?
circumcision, bro, of the year.
Little snip snap. Patty whack.
We don't know when it is, and we might know by the time this airs, but we're definitely going to do a tour
Cool.
of some extent.
Yeah.
It would be headlining.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Gable Price and Friends.
Gable Price and Friends. So we're going to want to hit a lot of cities.
Yeah.
All of them. Hopefully Michigan.
We love the consequence being live, and I have
Yeah.
no expectation to move on too fast onto the next
No.
project.
Sure.
I want to see these songs come to life.
Yeah.
With if we had 48 hours before we played Atlanta on the last tour, and people were screaming the words. Imagine a year
Yeah.
of
That's
getting to learn
crazy.
those songs. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Cool. So tours next.
Yeah.
Tours next.
Maybe
We-
Brazil. Who knows?
Yeah,
Brazil.
Yeah.
Maybe some jackets where the letters don't fleck off. you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that. That was awesome.
Gable Price and Friends fans, if you're watching this and you've stumbled upon the No Luck podcast, please follow the No Luck podcast.
Yeah.
Chase is doing some good work here.
The Lord's work.
Yeah.
And it's the least cringy podcast of all time.
I
So check it
appreciate
out.
that.
Yeah.
Check it out. And some say on Twitter that
Yes.
is the worst thing to come out of Redding, California. And so check it out. And so I'm just super glad that
Shout out.
we are no longer the worst thing to come out of Redding, California. It is No Luck Podcast.
One
Subscribe.
person for you.
Yeah.
But-
It should-
Are you gonna cut this out?
Probably.
Oh.
I just said Sean Voight, so
Or ask?
Reset.
Are we? Be honest, and it's okay. And this is. Are we the first people of color to be on your podcast?
Whoa.
Chase
No,
is
you're the
from
barber
Alabama,
guy.
bro.
The
He
barber
doesn't
guy.
see any of
you're
that.
not the first person of color or woman to be on my podcast.
What?
Whoa.
Oh.
You got everyone. In
My
there.
friend Taylor is Hispanic. He was on here.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He let us use that rehearsal space for our first
We
rehearsal.
talked about that in the podcast,
The annex.
actually. Yeah.
Annex.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
we'll
close.
talk about it after
Hey,
the
close.
podcast.
Guys, I gotta wrap this up.
No, you don't. We're keeping going
I gotta wrap
on.
this up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Jacob,
have
we're
to
gonna
edit
be
all
here
this.
7 more hours. I hope you're okay with that.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Bro, if you guys were worried about time, we wouldn't have gotten in here at 7:15, dog.
It's true.
So
Let's keep going.
That's
Ladies and gentlemen, we got some questions for Chase Smith.
oh my god.
You can honestly cut it off after like the last, or do we end it a certain way?
I'm gonna have to end a certain way. Okay, so that's it.
So that's
I
it.
already did a whole round of thank yous and we like went off for another 15 minutes,
Yeah.
but I cut it down.
Because we were saying some stuff.
Yeah, so thanks
Good
guys
stuff.
for coming on.
About some
course,
excited-
Chase.
Top
Excited,
ramen hair looking.
excited for what's next.
Adam keeps going.
That's episode 5, and I'll see you when I see you.
Bye,
Love
guys.
you.
No luck.
No luck.
No luck. Low.
And that's a wrap.
Good job, guys.
Shout out Jeremy.
Shout out, Jeremy. That was fun.
That was it for you.